So how do you think guys should act when they get dumped? Let's just get into like practical advice. What do you think? Because that's a pretty terrible like feeling to have and situation to be on. So what's your take on that?
That's a great question, Axel. So to get over a woman dumping you, you pretty much want to understand that she has moved on from you. Now, if she respectfully has broken up with you, look at it as a blessing that she has been upfront and direct and honest with you, right? So if she's upfront, honest, and direct, that is a great way for a woman to really just let you know, hey, we're severing ties and I'm ready to move on and I wish you all the best as well. So I think men have to understand whatever the circumstances, whether you get ghosted, whether she just randomly like throws your stuff out, whatever happens if you guys are living together or not living together, don't get emotional.
That's really hard, Cameron.
Yes, it is, Axel. But you know what? As men, we tend to be more logical creatures. We can't let our emotions get the best of us. And here's why: because men that get emotional are very dangerous.
Yeah,
that's
dangerous. What I was gonna say. Because we're very logical, but then when we get emotional, it's like we only have the one emotion. It's like seek and destroy.
Yeah.
So unless there are some other people, maybe their problem is they go into a depression. Because I think it goes like this. You get super emotional in a more aggressive way. And I don't mean like hitting or anything like that. It's just
it can happen though.
Yeah, it can happen.
Guys that do that.
It can happen. That's one of my fears. That was actually one of my fears because I have a history in my family of that. And I was always afraid of becoming that person. And that was one of the reasons why I also decided like I don't want to ever get to that point. But I'm afraid of that, if I'm being completely honest.
Sure.
And I think you get that shot of anger, and then what comes down is just deep sadness. And that one is really hard to get out of. Because I mean, the anger doesn't last very long, but the sadness lasts a good while.
It's important. Like my mentor, he told me, make sure that you live your life on a daily basis. Whether you're happy, whether everything is consistently great for you, or whether you're going through a breakup, you have to go live your life.
Now, so like reset every morning?
Oh, absolutely. So when I broke up with my ex in Mexico, I immediately went out that night. I went to a salsa dancing club that was in
You're
Tulum.
Crazy, Cameron.
Oh, absolutely. That's who I am, man. I'm very
crazy.
Much like going out there, like I'm very resilient. I pride myself in my resiliency.
Do you feel like that could also be seen as like, to me that feels strange. I guess it's because I wouldn't do that. I would do the opposite. I would, especially if it's someone that matters, to me it's like you shouldn't go and just like go out. How do you feel about that?
Well, I know myself. So when I say I know myself, I pride myself in knowing that I'm not going to go out and go crazy and be harmful, like self-destructive to myself. Okay. I'm more self-destructive. And when I mean self-destructive, like for example, I tend to binge eat. I'm in a lot more in control of it now because I've just made smarter food choices. I know my body better. See, again, self-identity.
Yeah.
So I'm really harping on self-identity because now I control my binge eating more. I don't have late night cravings. I don't order DoorDash at 2 a.m. So I'm just more in control of myself. So when I went out that night, I still had the willingness to go and meet new people. So,
were you like, screw everything, I'm gonna like talk to women now and like
absolutely. I was on the dating apps, which was very active in I was on Bumble. I was very active in Mexico. So I went on and did my thing. And for me, see, if I were to put myself and I respect your opinion. I'm saying this for all the guys out there who are thinking probably the same thing that you said, right? They're thinking, well, Cameron, like, what about how others will view you? I'm not saying you think that, but for other men out there who think like, how would others view me if I went out and I started like, let's say posting content that I'm out immediately after my breakup, right? What are they going to think about me? Well, again, I'm very individualistic and I'm caring more about my self-identity because at the end of the day, like above anything else, it's me.
And I 100% agree with that part of it. I think you should never live for someone else. You need to like live for yourself.
Right.
To me, I would just feel strange, but it's just we're different people. Like
absolutely,
I would just need time to like be alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, I'm thinking of like, this is me. I'm thinking, what is the other person, like what is my partner going to think if they see me doing that? But it also comes from like part of my traumas and my history and my story where the person that I was with was accusing me of like, oh, you don't want to be with me, so you can go and do X, Y, and Z. It's
That was my breakup also. It was
Yeah.
literally, it wasn't that the main thing, but that was very
Yeah.
similar. But go ahead.
For me, it was like, no, like I don't have a desire of doing X, Y, and Z like you think, and that's actually showing me that you don't even know what I really want.
Right.
Like I'm telling you what I want,
Right.
and it's not that. I guess I can see the point where for you, if that is what helps you bring back like who you are, then you have to do it. Just as long as you can find a way to do it in a respectful way, I guess. So you don't, because I'm trying to think of the other person.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. So for those that are thinking, you know, am I doing this out of disrespect? Well, you got to understand, like, if you know who I am, I go out and I socialize with people even during, like, after breakups or when I'm in a relationship. It's normal. It's second nature to me.
Yeah.
Being out and networking and socializing, I love it. So the thing is, like, after I've broken up, here's the thing. When I broke up with my ex, it was a very respectful breakup. I was very, like, I'm gonna be honest, I was in a bit of tears from the moment. And it was really hard for me. I told my ex, I'm like, hey, I thought we were gonna get married. I thought we were gonna have kids. Like, but it's just crazy how things have just, changed so quickly. But for me, I realized that if I just wallow in tears and fear and care so much about how she's thinking. See, it was funny, like, I feel like I compromised myself a lot throughout the relationship. I felt like I lost my self-identity. I felt like I overly accommodated my partner, all in the name of making sure she was happy. So when you have lacked your own happiness in such a long time in a relationship, well, what do you have to do opposite of that? The opposite is to go live your life the way you intended it to. Even though we broke up, and even though I went out later that night, what I realized is, okay, when I'm leaving, I'm not gonna call her names, I'm not gonna be disrespectful, I'm not gonna just, I'm not gonna do something that's gonna, like, physically abuse her. I'm not gonna do anything like that. I'm just gonna, like, pack my bags, get my stuff, get another Airbnb, and just move out. And it's funny, like, even after we split, I got in my before I got into the taxi, we gave each other one more hug, one more kiss, and we split. I said goodbye to her dog, and I missed that dog so much. And then, like, we split, and, like, after that, I just went to my Airbnb and moved on. And then when I flew back to the States, she told me before I got on my flight, hey, please let me know when you land in the States. So we ended it in the most harmonious way we could. I believe in just going through the breakup process, whatever you feel is the best way to live your life. If you feel hitting the gym is the best way to live your life, go to the gym. Even if it's at 10 o'clock at night and you just broke up, like, in the evening, go to the gym. If watching a movie helps you get your mind off it, go for it. And I like that you brought up sleep previously in our episode, but I want to say something about sleep. So there are a lot of guys who take advantage of sleep and they will sleep for hours on end. I'm not talking about a healthy dose of sleep. I'm talking about, like, they stay in their bed, they have, like, they close the drapes, they turn off all the lights, and they, like, literally isolate themselves in darkness. And when you think darkness, you don't think, oh, it's positive and everybody's out there, like, jovial. You think darkness is a negative thing, right? And if I'm, like, shutting down, like, all my, like, drapes and stuff and I'm making it completely pitch dark at, like, 2 p.m., I mean, that's not healthy, right? Taking a nap, it's healthy, but I don't think you should take a nap for, like, 3-4 hours. Like, a 30-minute nap, like you said, is very healthy. That's totally fine, and I take naps all the time. But again, it's all in moderation. So me living my life was going out that night, and I like to socialize. And what is salsa? It's social dancing. It's partner dancing. So for me to go out and meet a new woman to go social dancing with, because my partner, she liked to dance, but even when we were together in the relationship, we didn't dance a lot together. So I missed that. So I was like, I need to go out there and go dance with somebody. I missed it. So, and plus I'm in Mexico. I'm not going to be in Tulum the whole time for the rest of my life. I mean, let me live it to the fullest. So whatever it is that you feel is the healthiest way to break up with your partner post-breakup, remember, any activity you want to do, don't make it self-destructive. Be careful of how much you're sleeping. Like, don't, like, just get all depressed and close all the blinds and sleep for hours on end. Just really be careful. Don't abuse drugs and alcohol. Just really, really be careful about it. But because I'm very resilient, because I know I have PMA, positive mental attitude, I didn't feel like I was gonna, like, destroy myself. I just knew that I need to be free. I felt like a trapped bird in a cage that was ready to be free.